Ever since we got the tour today,
We can't stop talking about it.
We can't stop talking about Snapdragon Stadium. Literally blown away, jaw-dropping stuff. It's going to be an unbelievable facility for San Diegans and for San Diego State football and for international soccer and club soccer and concerts. It goes on and on and on. And Derek Grice has been instrumental in this project from day one. Executive Associate AD for Mission Valley Development. Derek, first of all, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on nearing the completion of this portion of the project. And how much do you enjoy, Derek, because you were on our tour today with JD, how much do you enjoy seeing the reaction of others getting inside this facility for a first time?
Well, it's great to talk to you guys again. I had a great time today on the tour. It's an interesting question, and I think for me, one of the things I take the most joy in is when you pour your heart and soul into a project and want to create something special for the people of this community, for this great institution, and to see people's reaction, to seeing that actually come to life, it's rewarding, and it's in a way in which I can't describe. It's that feeling of validation for all the effort and energy that we put into putting something together, and for people to react to it and feel and kind of validate how you feel about a space is pretty special.
And there's still a lot to be done at Snapdragon Stadium. But as far as what you are most proud of with this stadium as it's nearing completion, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a great question, and I don't know if we have enough time on this call to kind of really get into it. But I think more than anything, it's being here for a little while, and y'all have been here for a while. I moved here, and people kept telling me over and over, this is never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not in San Diego. Nothing ever gets done in San Diego. It's a pipe dream. If you're playing in a new stadium by 2028, you'll be doing something. And here we are staring down the barrel of opening day in September 3rd, 2022 against a Pac-12 opponent. And I think that is one of the proudest ones. We never stopped. We kept pushing forward as a team and as a unit to make this a reality for Sdsu and San Diego.
Derek Grice is the Executive Associate Athletic Director for Mission Valley Development for San Diego State. He joins us right now in John and Jim. Again, we got the tour earlier today. When you get your first chance to go to Snapdragon Stadium, it's really going to be a special experience. That's what we went through earlier today. Derek, we've talked a lot about a venue that is uniquely San Diego. What makes Snapdragon Stadium so unique for Southern California and specifically San Diego?
We spent a lot of time and effort on that, and what we drew from is the architecture here in San Diego, taking advantage of the climate, making sure that we're using landscape that mirrors the area around it, and it gets down even deeper into how we curated our art program for the stadium, bringing in local mural artists and artists around the community to do some art pieces for it. It's also about bringing in local restaurant partners. We have 10 local restaurant partners, and it's going to go into our into our craft beer list and all those pieces. It's paying attention to every detail you possibly can and making sure when you're asking yourself, is this the right thing for the stadium? Going, how does this embody San Diego? And I think you saw it today, and I think we really did capture the spirit of this place.
And when you walked to the stadium, we walked through it, obviously, and we saw things that renderings just don't do it justice. What are some of the must-see places in that stadium that you would say, yeah, a rendering does not do it justice?
So just globally, one of the biggest things is how intimate the stadium's going to be. Mm-hmm. We brought everything closer to the field. We got vertical with it, and we really made it and created sight lines that are going to be really special in this place and really put the crowd in it, and they can create this really amazing home field advantage. But beyond that, I'm really, really excited about our premium spaces, because I think we're going to have the best premium spaces in the country, and certainly some of the best, in Southern California. Beyond that, though, even more than just the premium spaces are those spaces that are experiential for anyone who comes to the game, whether that's the northwest scoreboard location with the bar underneath it, with the great sightlines to the field and Mission Valley behind it, whether it's the food truck area in the northeast corner, whether it's the area underneath the piers, the unique way we did our concourse to create this really open, unique concourse feel to it that really embodies San Diego. Those are the places that I think are can't miss are those places that anyone who has a ticket can come and experience.
Derek Grice, Executive Associate AD for Mission Valley Development at San Diego State, joining us right now on John and Jim. Derek, I was a little surprised when we got on field how vast the field was. Not as much north-south like a football field, but east-west, right? How wide the field was, and that's specifically for international soccer. Can you talk about how this venue is kind of unique because of its size for both football and soccer?
Yeah, so we really wanted to set out and create a multi-purpose stadium. A stadium for us for football game days, 7 home football games, hopefully 8 home football games with the conference championship every year or so moving forward. We wanted to build a facility that could serve San Diego in a lot of different purposes, and one of that is professional soccer and bringing soccer, whether it's international soccer matches or professional soccer matches, high school events, whether it's lacrosse, rugby, you name that. We wanted to create a field that can do all that and serve as a community asset. And so we really took great care to make sure we laid out the field so it can accommodate those, but also made sure that we made those first few rows of seats and brought everything closer and made sure that we paid attention to the sight lines. Sometimes when you go to a soccer stadium and you go to an old football stadium, the sight lines are really obstructed on the first few rows because of the distance away and because of how low they are. We really paid attention to that, bringing your feet up, putting you still closer on top of the action, but really preserving the sight lines. So I think that that's the unique way we kind of balance that.
What's one detail in the stadium that people might not see, but for you personally, you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool?
Oh, man. God, that's a loaded question. There's so many. Y'all been around me a little bit in the past, and I'm a really detail-oriented person, and I focus on every detail, and every little thing matters. Everything from whether we picked this fabric or whether we did this design or we worked with this artist or we did those. I don't know that I could say one, but I do think the architecture is really kind of special, and I do think the way we approach the building and the experience overall, and putting ourselves into someone's place as you go through it, how we created a field club that really is going to provide that energy. We get to see the team take the field or listen to the post-game press conference or come out and step on the field or being in the West Club and being over the seats or just honestly some of those little details, like we took pieces of the old stadium and we've hidden them as like Easter eggs throughout the building for that connection, because that place was so special to people in San Diego for so long. And while we wanted to create a new stadium to create new memories, we still wanted to preserve that connection. And so we're doing that. And so I think that those are the kind of details that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, where did you draw the inspiration for, like you mentioned it there in your last answer, how when the team takes the field from their locker room, and I don't know the perfect specifics of that exact area, but I mean, that's an unbelievable presentation I think for fans, but also for the team. How did you come up with that style and design?
I think we looked at a lot of things that people are doing across the country. Mm-hmm. We went to a lot of different places, and I found that we drew from more of the professional model in a lot of the stadiums we did. And we made sure every seat in the building was a chair back. We made sure our premium was the highest premium quality we could. And one of the things we drew from a lot of places was, particularly from professional soccer, where the team walks through a club space. The Dallas Cowboys are famous for it. Mm-hmm. Bank of California does it, where your team possesses students. Like, we take it for granted, even you guys in the media, but us as athletic administrators, that we get to be there and sense that energy and excitement as a team kind of gets ready, the pageantry of them taking the field. Well, we were able to kind of blur those lines and give our fans access to watch that and see that and be a part of that. And I think that that's the kind of approach we wanted to do when we were thinking of experiential spaces in the stadium. And that's kind of where that came from.
I feel like when you think of San Diego, you think of the beer and food scene. and we had the taco stand today. We were talking a little bit about this and just the idea of making sure you knew exactly what kind of food to put in that stadium that felt San Diego. What kind of process was that to make sure you had the right feel for the food that would go in that stadium?
Might be the toughest assignment I had.
I bet it was.
Get in there, eat a lot of food, loosen up the belt straps and just get to town. For us, it had to speak to San Diego. It had to be these iconic places, these places that people are so attached to. But at the same time, it had to be scalable, right? It had to be food that could be delivered fresh and good on a game day, and it had to be game day food. So that's kind of we work with a team, Aztec Shops, our concessionaire, and a few people as we kind of develop this list of restaurant partners and reaching out to them, and the response we got from partners who wanted to be a part of this was really exciting. And I think we found and put together a really good mix. We didn't want to just recreate something somebody else is doing. We wanted to create our own identity. We have some crossovers there because there's some iconic places here in San Diego that like Hodad's that you want to have that Hodad's burger, right? And so we needed to do that. But there were some other restaurant partners we felt were a great fit for us in establishing our own identity as a venue.
Derek, you talked about being detail-oriented. You're literally opening a brand-new stadium in weeks, yet you took the time today to make sure I'd have mushroom tacos from the taco stand. So I thank you greatly. They were spectacular.
You won't stop talking about it.
The tour was unbelievable. We learned so much. We're so excited for September 3rd, everything that's to come at Snapdragon Stadium. Keep up the great work. We know it's going to be a busy few weeks or few months, but thank you for doing it today.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all y'all do for SDSU and Aztec Athletics.